Hello everybody, Maven here, and I'm happy to inform the scrub players out there that you are no longer throwing if you use Sweet Business. That was always such a noob blueberry play to make, but now with Bungie's update patch 7.0.5.0 and they buffed a bunch of archetypes, auto rifles got the biggest buff out of all of these. They got a 25% damage buff. And yeah, Sweet Business with Actium War Rig actually melting, guys. It's actually not a meme anymore. So today we'll be reviewing that and also a build I made for it. So stay tuned and don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy, and let's get to it. So for the blueberries out there who are new to this game, the Sweet Business, it really does nothing special in particular. It's just a gosh dang minigun. Makes you into the Terminator. It has a very big magazine of 150, but it has a reload speed stat of 0, and that's always its biggest pain point. So you probably do not want to attempt to use this weapon on Warlock because you have no way to really cheat the reload other than the rain of fire and the transversive steps. On Hunter, it's a lot easier because you have the marksman's dodge, but you most likely want to use this thing on Titan, and that is because of the Actium War Rig. Out of everything in this game, there's nothing that has more synergy with the Sweet Business than the Actium War Rig. While you have it equipped, it steadily reloads your equipped auto rifles and machine guns. So as a heavy of choice, you probably also want to use a machine gun with this build. But it makes your magazine on the Sweet Business last like 10 times longer. So you really want to be using this exotic. And as you've probably seen from the background gameplay, I was tearing it up with this thing in the Grandmaster Nightfall, in Solo Master Lost Sectors, you name it. This thing is great in high-end content now, especially this season with intrinsic overload on this thing. It is very good to use in difficult content that contains overload champions. And I can finally say that the Sweet Business has earned my respect after all of these years. I mean, I flawless the dang Grandmaster with this thing. Who can say they've done that with the Sweet Business before? So anyways, we'll put the Sweet Business to the real test here to see if it actually is a viable exotic primary to use. And we're going to compare it against the most meta exotic primary in the game, the Osteo, against our good friend Carl here. So we're going to do a little side-by-side comparison, and it looks like the Sweet Business does kill a little bit quicker than the Osteo. However, if the Osteo was previously overflowed on the magazine before starting that gunfight, it looks like the Osteo would win. And it has a couple benefits to it, and it has a couple downsides. So for one, you're not always going to have the Osteo magazine overflowed, but when you have Actium War Rig Sweet Business, it will always be overflowed. So you got that going for it. Number two is the range. With Osteo, you have to be like within 30 meters to like use it effectively. With the Sweet Business, you can map things from across the world. The thing has like no kick whatsoever once it's fully spun up. But I will say though that when ads are tightly grouped together, like within 5 meters of each other, the Osteo definitely does have the benefit of the better ad clear. But the Sweet Business is still pretty good. Mows them down with those armor piercing rounds shredding through them. It's pretty solid still. And now let's break down the build. Now I always say the key to a great PvE build is going to be survivability, and that's basically a fact. You can't really argue that. Surviving is the key, and when you're using the Sweet Business, you're out of cover and you're getting aggressive, you need to find a way to survive. Now, out of all these options, the first one that would come to most people's minds is something like Solar, but you got to think, with Ember of Empyrean, you only extend your restoration forever if you get Solar weapon or ability Final Blows, so that is off the table for the Sweet Business. But with a Void, you can use anything when you have Devour. All you have to do is get Final Blows, you fully regen your health, and you extend Devour, and also you get some grenade energy as icing on the cake, which is the reason why I got 100 Discipline, and it's also a grenade spam build, so it also kind of gives the Sweet Business intrinsic demolitionist, which is very good. But Devour is going to be what allows you to get aggressive with this thing, and that is very, very important. So I'll show you a couple examples here when I did the solo Vex Caliber exotic mission. So you can see there's some situations where I'm gunning down a yellow bar Wyvern, an orange bar Cyclops, multiple orange bar shielded Minotaurs, and a bunch of trash mobs, all at the same time, and they're all gunning me down. There's 1,000 bullets flying at me, and I don't care because I have Devour. I'm gunning stuff down, and every single time I get a kill, I fully regen my health. If things get hectic or I need to reload, I simply just put down a barricade and reload behind it, and I'm good to go. It is very, very excellent. I don't care about all these gigantic mobs shooting at me. I'm gonna gun them down one by one, and that is what Devour is good for.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
So moving on, we have Echo of Persistence, which helps to extend the duration of Devour. It's, I'm not going to go over the specific values of this thing, but I'm just letting you know it is very worth it to run Echo of Persistence when you care so much about Devour, and also Overshields. And then Undermining, because of course we want our grenades to weaken targets so we can shred them easier with our Sweet Business and our machine gun. So Echo Starvation, by the way, needs you to pick up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power. Mostly the Orb of Power is what we are going to be creating with our mods that we'll go over in a second. We got Bastion here for those Overshields with the Towering Barricade. Now you might be like, oh, I want to run the Rally Barricade though because it has a quicker cooldown. But no, if you look at Bastion, it says at the bottom, base cooldown 140. So it doesn't matter what barricade you're using, they're going to have the same cooldown. Might as well use the big one. Now I have Shield Bash as my melee of choice for a specific reason we'll go over. And then I have the Vortex Nade and Controlled Demolition. Controlled Demolition is another way that you're going to be able to survive because whenever a target explodes with volatile, you will get some health back. So you just throw a nade at them, it's going to make them volatile from this thing's ability, and you're going to get some health back. It's very good. So the way that we're going to make orbs is going to be a few different ways. We have a Reaper on our class item, so we put down our barricade, and then our next weapon kill is going to make an orb. Because this is a grenade build with 100 discipline, we have firepower, so those make orbs. And then we have heavy-handed. That's why I got Shield Bash, because it hits so dang hard. Make an orb off that, and because it makes it on the spot where you killed that ad, you're just going to insta-pick it up, instantly get Devour just by Shield Bashing. It is excellent. And then I have Kinetic Siphon on my helmet because your kinetic weapon double kills, your Sweet Business double kills are going to make orbs, and a lot of ways to proc Echo Starvation and get Devour. And another reason that it's good to make those orbs is because of volatile flow. So picking up the orb is going to give us volatile rounds, which doesn't work with our Sweet Business, but does work with our Void Machine Gun. Now, because the Actium War Rig auto reloads machine guns as well as auto rifles, you're probably going to want to use a machine gun with this build. And the best option, I would say, is going to be the Retrofit Escapade with the 4 times the charm target lock roll. It does very, very good DPS, the best legendary machine gun DPS in the game. So you're really going to want this because you want a way to deal some heavy damage for bosses and bigger targets. Now, I find myself using Sweet Business for everything other than bosses, and then this is just for the chunkier targets. And then I find myself never really using my special. I put on a Blinding Truth Teller just because, you know, it's Void. I got Void Reserves and a Void Scavenger for my machine gun. So I decided to throw in a Void Special, but you can really use whatever you want. I really don't find myself using that slot anyways, because really all you need is just these 2 things. So moving on, we have Heavy Ammo Finder. Now, as I say in all of my build videos, Ammo Finder bricks are terrible. However, they do work now with scavenger mods, so it's actually worth using for your machine gun ammo. And then we got a couple resist mods on our chest, which you can swap out accordingly for whatever activity you're doing. And then on our gloves here, we also have bolstering detonation, so we get some barricade energy back when we throw our grenades. That is going to be very useful because we're throwing a lot of grenades with 100 discipline. And also remember that Devour, when it is active, your final blows grant you grenade energy, so it's just built-in demolitionist to whatever weapon you're using, which is amazing icing on the cake for that very strong ability already. On our boots here, we got Absolution and Innervation, so when we pick up our Orbs of Power, we get a lot of ability energy back, especially for our grenades. And then finally, to round it all out, on our class item, we got Bomber and Outreach to get our ability energy back when we place down our barricade. So there you have it. Sweet Business gets the Maven stamp of approval. I really like this thing. I think it is worth using. Do I still feel like a blueberry scrub lord for using it? Yes, but that's just the outside opinion. Don't let anyone tell you what you should use. As long as you're having fun, that is the most important thing. Unless you're doing very, very difficult content, you know, like maybe you're trying to do Master Nezarec challenge, then maybe you gotta listen to your fire team and do what they say. But you know, for the most part, if you're like farming Grandmasters or Master content or Legend stuff or Raids, it's a pretty good option to use. Even if you're a veteran player out there, I recommend giving it a try. It is a lot of fun. Next time I do a Grandmaster that has overload champions, you best bet I'm gonna give this thing a try again. So anyways, I'll leave a dim loadout link to this build down below in the description in the pinned comment if you'd like to give it a try. And it's probably a little bit of a shorter video, but there's not too much to talk about with the Sweet Business. It's just a dang old minigun. What do you want me to say? It's a lot of fun though. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment, because interacting with the video in different types of ways like that really helps it out and helps the algorithm. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Would love to have you here. And with that, I will catch you in the next video. See you later.